The lights were blinding. The cheers were deafening. The red carpet shimmered like a river of molten gold outside the grand venue in Shanghai. Cameras flashed in relentless bursts, capturing every glittering gown and tailored tuxedo. It was supposed to be another triumphant chapter in the glittering history of Weibo Night, the annual spectacle powered by Sina Weibo that celebrates the biggest stars and loudest moments in Chinese entertainment. But by sunrise, the glamour had curdled into chaos. Two major sponsors, both longtime financial pillars of the event, had reportedly withdrawn their support following what fans called blatantly disrespectful treatment of one of the industry's most influential stars, Xiao Zhan. And the fallout? Explosive. The moment, the energy shifted. When Xiao Zhan stepped onto the red carpet, the temperature seemed to change. Fans who had waited for hours erupted into synchronized chants. Light boards bearing his name flickered like constellations. His charcoal suit was minimalist yet regal, his expression calm but focused. He waved with quiet grace, bowing slightly, a gesture that instantly trended online. Yet insiders would later whisper that behind the scenes, something was off. While other A-list celebrities were ushered to prime seating near the stage, Xiao Zhan was reportedly directed toward a less prominent section. A minor logistical issue? Perhaps. But to fans, it felt deliberate. Cameras lingered on other tables while barely cutting to him during key moments. Then came the award presentation. As his category was announced, the room erupted. When his name was called, cheers thundered across the hall. But viewers watching the live broadcast noticed something odd. The camera angle was abrupt, almost careless. His acceptance speech, calm, eloquent, heartfelt, was partially drowned out by background audio and quickly cut short in the broadcast edit. Within minutes, social media detonated. Digital earthquake. On Sina Weibo itself, hashtags exploded into the millions of views. Respect Xiao Zhan. Weibo Night fair treatment. Apologize to Xiao Zhan. Fans began posting side-by-side comparisons. Extended camera focus for some stars versus fleeting, awkward angles for him. Clips circulated of audience members standing to applaud while the broadcast cut away too quickly. What turned irritation into outrage was the backstage clip. A short video, reportedly captured by an attendee, showed Xiao Zhan waiting briefly near the stage entrance as staff appeared confused about cues. He remained composed, hands clasped, offering a reassuring smile to someone off camera. But to fans, that split-second hesitation symbolized something bigger. A lack of respect for an artist whose influence spans music, television, and global fashion. The clip went viral in less than an hour. Sponsors under fire. Brands associated with the event suddenly found themselves caught in the crossfire. Comment sections flooded with demands. Will you continue to support events that disrespect artists? Explain your stance. We expect accountability. Within 24 hours, two major sponsors released carefully worded statements announcing they would reassess future partnerships with the event. The financial implications were immediate. Industry analysts estimate that Weibo Night's sponsorship deals account for a significant portion of its operational revenue. Losing two in rapid succession sent a clear message. Fandom power is not abstract, it's economic. Marketing experts called it a case study in the new era of celebrity influence. When a star like Xiao Zhan faces perceived injustice, one analyst commented in a live-stream discussion, brands must decide whether they stand with the platform or the audience. Inside the venue, a tense atmosphere. Guests later described the mood inside the hall after the online storm began brewing. Phones vibrated nonstop at dinner tables as attendees scrolled through trending topics. Publicists whispered urgently. Some celebrities appeared visibly cautious in their interactions, aware that every smile or glance could be scrutinized frame by frame online. When Xiao Zhan returned to his seat after accepting his award, several nearby stars reportedly leaned in to congratulate him warmly. Observers noted his steady composure, no visible frustration, no public complaint, just professionalism. That restraint only deepened public sympathy. One viral comment read, "He doesn't need to show anger. His dignity speaks louder than any outrage." The power of fandom. To understand the magnitude of the backlash, one must understand Xiao Zhan's fanbase. Since his breakout role in The Untamed, his influence has transcended traditional entertainment boundaries. He commands massive digital engagement, brand loyalty, and international recognition. His fans are organized, strategic, and swift. Within hours of the controversy, they began trending educational threads analyzing broadcast timestamps. They compiled media coverage comparisons. They translated posts into multiple languages to amplify global awareness. This wasn't chaotic rage, it was coordinated advocacy. And brands noticed. The sponsors calculated exit. When the first sponsor announced its withdrawal, the statement was diplomatic but unmistakable. We value fairness and respect in all collaborations. The second followed hours later. Industry insiders speculate that both brands had monitored social media sentiment metrics in real time. As negative engagement spiked, the risk assessment likely shifted from manageable controversy to brand liability. In the age of digital transparency, silence can cost more than action. Weibo Night responds. Late the next evening, organizers released a brief statement attributing the issues to technical miscommunications and promising improvements in future broadcasts. But for many fans, it felt insufficient. The damage wasn't just technical, it was emotional. For them, the controversy symbolized a larger conversation about artist treatment in high-profile events. Was visibility distributed fairly? Were all invited guests given equal respect? The questions lingered long after the lights dimmed. A silent statement. Perhaps the most striking moment came days later. Xiao Zhan posted a simple message thanking fans for their continued support and expressing gratitude for the opportunity to attend the event. No complaints. No mention of controversy. Just grace. The post amassed millions of likes within hours. Comment sections overflowed with admiration. Your elegance is your power. We stand with you. Dignity always wins. His measured response reframed the narrative. What began as outrage transformed into a demonstration of solidarity and loyalty. A turning point for entertainment events? Industry observers are calling this a watershed moment. For years, award ceremonies have relied on star power to generate buzz while maintaining tight broadcast control. But the digital age has shifted that balance. Every camera angle, every seating arrangement, every micro-expression can become evidence in the court of public opinion. Weibo Night's sponsor losses may signal a broader recalibration. Event organizers must now consider not only production logistics, but fan perception analytics. Transparency, fairness, and consistent treatment are no longer optional, they're strategic necessities. The aftermath. As of this writing, discussions continue across entertainment forums. Some argue the controversy was amplified beyond proportion. Others insist that visible disparities deserved scrutiny. What remains undeniable is the scale of the reaction. 2 sponsors gone, millions of posts, global headlines, and at the center of it all, a star who chose composure over confrontation. The glitter of that Shanghai night may have faded, but its echoes continue to ripple across the industry. Weibo Night was meant to celebrate influence. Instead, it revealed where the real power lies. Not just on stage, not just in boardrooms, but in the collective voice of millions who refuse to let their idols be sidelined. In an era where reputation can pivot overnight, one lesson shines brighter than any spotlight. Respect isn't optional, and the audience is always watching. The red carpet had barely cooled when whispers began to spiral through the marble corridors of the venue. What happened in those first 30 minutes of Weibo Night? The subtle glances, the awkward pauses, the camera cuts that felt just a little too abrupt, would ignite a firestorm no one backstage had anticipated. It started with anticipation. When Xiao Zhan's motorcade arrived outside the Weibo Night venue, the barricades trembled under the force of fan chants. His name rolled like thunder across the plaza. Security guards exchanged looks. They'd seen crowds before, but this was different. This was tidal. The car door opened. For a split second, the screaming stopped, as if the world itself inhaled. Then he stepped out. tailored in deep charcoal with a subtle sheen that caught the floodlights just right, Xiao Zhan moved with effortless poise. He paused, bowed slightly, and offered that signature soft smile, the kind that has launched 1,000 trending topics. Phones shot upward like a synchronized constellation of stars. But inside the venue, something felt off. The seating shuffle. As other celebrities were ushered inside, cameras captured sweeping cinematic shots, slow-motion waves, dramatic lighting, perfectly timed applause. Staff moved with rehearsed precision, guiding A-listers toward prime tables near the stage, the kind visible in nearly every broadcast frame. When Xiao Zhan entered, applause rippled across the hall. Several attendees stood instinctively. Yet viewers later noticed the broadcast cut abruptly to a wide crowd shot, then to a commercial bumper. On the floor, an unusual pause occurred. A staff member leaned in, whispered something. Another gestured subtly toward a table positioned farther from the stage's main sightline. It wasn't the worst seat in the house, but it wasn't the best either. And at events like this, placement speaks volumes. For fans watching the live stream, the camera barely lingered. Did they just skip him? One comment read. Why no close-up? Another demanded. Within minutes, screenshots began circulating. Side-by-side comparisons. Timestamp analyses. The digital detectives were clocking in. The award announcement. The tension reached its peak during the award segment. As the category approached, energy in the hall shifted. Everyone knew the likely outcome. The host's voice rose theatrically, building suspense. Names flashed on the massive LED screen behind the stage, dramatic music swelling. When Xiao Zhan appeared, the audience reaction was explosive. People stood. Applause thundered. Some guests even turned to find him in the crowd, smiling broadly. But on the live stream, the camera angle was oddly distant. Instead of a tight reaction shot, the kind usually reserved for nominees, viewers got a sweeping crane movement that skimmed past him before locking onto the presenter. Fans froze. Why didn't they show his face? Rewind. Is this intentional? Then his name was announced as the winner. The room erupted again, louder this time. He rose gracefully, buttoning his suit jacket, nodding appreciatively to those congratulating him. A nearby celebrity leaned in to hug him briefly. Another clapped enthusiastically. For a heartbeat, the camera finally centered on him. But as he began walking toward the stage, the broadcast cut to a wide shot. The focus drifted. It felt hurried, unpolished, and fans noticed everything. The microphone moment. On stage, under the blinding white spotlight, Xiao Zhan accepted the trophy with both hands. He bowed, first to the presenter, then to the audience. His voice, calm and warm, began his acceptance speech. Thank you for your support. Every step I take. The audio crackled. A brief distortion sliced through the live stream. The background music swelled prematurely, as if someone backstage had misjudged the cue. He paused slightly, composed, then continued. Is because of those who believe in me. Applause echoed through the hall. But the broadcast trimmed his speech short, transitioning abruptly to the next segment with minimal transition. No lingering close-up. No emotional montage. It felt truncated. And, in the digital arena, that was unforgivable. The backstage glitch. If the seating and camera cuts were sparks, the backstage clip was gasoline. A short video surfaced online, grainy but clear enough. It showed Xiao Zhan waiting near the stage entrance moments before his award cue. A staff member appeared flustered, scanning a clipboard. Another gestured urgently toward the wings. For approximately 10 seconds, he stood alone, poised, hands lightly clasped, expression patient. 10 seconds. In ordinary life, insignificant. In celebrity optics, eternal. The clip looped across social media. Fans dissected every frame. Why was he left waiting? Other winners had smooth transitions. This is disrespect. The narrative crystallized. This wasn't just technical error, it was treatment. The energy in the room. Inside the venue, those seated near him later described a shift in atmosphere once the online backlash began trending in real time. Phones vibrated. Publicists whispered. Some guests discreetly checked social media under the table. Meanwhile, Xiao Zhan remained composed. After returning to his seat, he leaned toward a neighboring guest, exchanging quiet conversation. He laughed softly at something said. He applauded others with sincerity. Not a flicker of visible frustration. That restraint only magnified public emotion. One viral comment summed it up. He handled it with dignity. That's why it hurts more. The digital surge. Within an hour, hashtags referencing the perceived slight climbed to the top rankings on Weibo. Fans compiled comparative footage from previous years. They analyzed how winners from hit dramas like the Untamed era ceremonies had been framed. They posted slow-motion edits highlighting applause levels. What might once have faded into background noise became a headline-grabbing controversy. Because this wasn't just about camera angles. It was about respect in an industry where image is currency. The symbolism of placement. In high-profile award shows, seating arrangements and broadcast framing are coded language. Proximity to the stage suggests prestige. Camera focus signals relevance. Editing communicates narrative. So when fans perceived imbalance, they interpreted it as hierarchy, intentional or not. And in the hyper-connected ecosystem of modern fandom, perception shapes reality. By the time the final trophy was handed out, the real drama wasn't on stage. It was online. And part one of this unfolding saga, the subtle, seemingly small moments that accumulated into a storm, would prove more powerful than any acceptance speech. Because sometimes, it's not the spotlight that defines the night. It's who controls where it shines.